So Dad made some pizza. Basically, what I think he did is he bought a pepperoni pizza from Wegmans, sprinkled some shredded cheddar cheese on top, and cooked it as normal. I was doing my 6 beginner map on easy mode in an effort to develop my strategy in regards to Bloons Tower Defense 6. Right now I have a focus on, I believe, the monkey heli pads, something like that. Or maybe it's just monkey helis. I've developed the right upgrades so that by the end of the day, they're ultimately able to detect camo balloons and are able to pop lead balloons too. They have dart machine guns, which you can upgrade to quad, but I think those two extra at some point get replaced by rocket launchers when you upgrade to the tier 4 level, that being if I remember correctly, it's the Apache, which then goes up to, I think, Apache Prime. The upgrade description simply says the Apache Prime makes most balloons which they've never been inflated. Which I think is pretty understandable. I got some building inspirements, which motivated me to get around to upgrading the training grounds and this residence. It's part of an effort to have some ready for when I finish researching, or actually when I start researching dwarven residences. That research upgrade in particular doesn't come until chapter 6. And I'm currently in the early parts of chapter 5. I only buy knowledge points when I specifically get a task to do so as part of an event like this. That's exactly what happened, but getting to this point got me a whole bunch of bonus keys, which ultimately allowed me to get to this point. Candy Cane Factory. Again, they really have a ton of building for this event in particular. One of the first things I recall doing today was looking for a new better fellowship to join, as I've noticed the one I'm currently in has been losing members, and I'm currently the second highest player within the fellowship. And I have a feeling that if I stay in the fellowship, I would be able to, at some point, get to number 1. It's rather annoying when you just get a relic from one of these key slots, but it's definitely better than nothing, that's for sure. And also, this was from when Dad got me a slice of the pecan pie he got from, I think it was a discount bakery. Yeah, it was roughly an hour after lunch. Lunch in which me and Dad went to a Bill Gray's location, and we each got a great plate. I got the cheeseburger plate with everything on it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And it was during this trip to Bill Gray's that I showed the barmaid, as we sat at the bar, we wore a mask until we sat down. As you don't have to wear a mask when you're sitting down. It's basically only for when you're moving about within the establishment. Six winter gifts? Oh, that's pretty lucky. That'll really help me in evolving the Watchful Winter Owl building. Excuse me. Okay. I got some more pizza. While sitting at the bar and waiting for the plate to arrive, the drink I picked was a root beer, a glass of it. Which I think I sipped down while waiting for my order and while eating my order. And after eating it too. And the first time I tried out Bloons Tower Defense 6, was during the car ride to Bill Gray's. And I'm liking the game so far. It has some of those elements we've gotten familiar with from modern games, at least of the multiplayer kind. I've gotten impressions that Bloons Tower Defense 6 is sort of a multiplayer game. Not to the vein of Alvenar, but there's definitely multiplayer elements. The trip to Bill Gray's was preceded by a visit to my dad's parents, in which, during the car ride to there, I held the portraits I made of them, my dad's parents, via styrofoam drawings. And Dad took the time before we left to wrap them. And in the time between me getting up for the first time today and our trip to heading off for the visit at Dad's place, I finished the campaign, the normal campaign for Royal Warfare, so I could face the Undead King, push through and win, and get the heart badge for the game. And then I went on, as part of efforts, to collect more Congregate badges. I played this platformer game on Congregate known as Coma, which I think I may have played beforehand, but it was just today that I got the medium badge for the game. And basically, I looked for the best fellowship I could join. Sent a message to the Archmage, asking about minimum requirements. At roughly, I would say, 6:30ish in the morning, but I actually sent it at, I believe it said 6:48 a.m. I think I've typed out at least 1,000 characters describing things like me having completed this magical chess set, me having the Needles of the Tempest, Ancient Wonder. Excuse me, although the Fellowship Archmage hinted at there being abbreviations. For example, in uppercase T, lowercase o, and uppercase S for Tome of Secrets. So I simply followed the same format for the other Ancient Wonders I had, as well as for the ones I was working on building. MMCL. I talked about me having a level 12 main hall, level 2 builder's hut, and Magic Academy, and so on forth. Having these two buildings though oddly enough, there was no point in which I thought about mentioning my training size. But there are criteria by which the game does rank you. Excuse me. There was a point at which I was overflowing with gold coins and supplies, but then I believe I made some wholesaler offers. I accepted some offers, so I think, most likely it was to immediately upgrade this steel manufactory from level 9 to level 10. Well, getting relics all those times as a prize is having benefits in one way at least. That's for sure. Yeah, that is one accepted way of gaining relics. Anyway, during the last couple maps, or basically really during the 5th map, I played on Bloons Tower Defense. And briefly during the 4th I played, I tried to incorporate the banana farm so that I could have more income to expand and improve my my Monkey Heli Squadron with. So oddly enough, for all the things the Monkey Heli Squadron can do, they don't seem to be very effective against those classic DDTs. And I remember so fondly as being, for a long while at least, the big bads of Bloons Monkey City. I played that game quite extensively back in the day. I've got no idea if you can still play that game today. I haven't really checked that much. Right before we went on the trip to Dad's parents' place and to Bill Gray's, I had been playing the Congregate game, The Great Siege, in which you use a catapult. At least at first, that's what you're given first, but as you develop your city in between battles, you can then gain the capacity to hire, train, and raise an army, or really just hire and send out an army to fight your enemies for you. I actually had to use this mechanic during the second boss battle, even though, despite extensively exploiting bugs in which the enemy's animations reset if you pause by pressing either A, and for A here, it brings up the Ancient Wonders. D does nothing, but that's the other button you press to pause the game The Great Siege. I'm just having a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be a lot of games on Congregate I'm either not going to be able to play anymore on the site, or else I'm going to have to put in some work to get them to work again on Congregate following the removal of support for Adobe Flash on all the major browsers at the very end of this year, December 31st, 2020. At the relative beginning of today, I also did some work on the 99 Dan Hamming. Lengthening that robbery scene by, I think, a few seconds, roughly. Okay, so taking the time to film these parts actually resulted in the Bloons Tower Defense 6 app being reset when I tried to open it between the last part and now, essentially. But luckily my game got automatically saved when this happened, so I didn't lose any progress, although at the time I was only 2 rounds roughly into the game. This is some rice pudding that Dad's mom the person for whom I have, who created the nickname Grandma Dearest, it's perhaps literally mixing rice into putting it away. I just had thought of adding raisins to this. Though I am enjoying the flavor, if it is a little bland, I still do like it though. And by the way, Dad's parents liked the styrofoams that I made for them and that Dad wrapped. And also, immediately following that little gift exchange, they gave me a little red envelope that ended up containing a little card. I took the time to open the envelope carefully and to thoroughly read and digest the card. And it turned out there was a $50 bill inside. The card, which I'm very thankful for. The second part of the visit to Dad's parents ended up being a session in which I showed them pictures I had taken of my styrofoams. Generally, the most recent ones the ones spanning from 2020 and 2019. I think there was one from 2017 at the earliest. I tried to show them a variety of the styrofoams they had drawn, though I didn't dare to show them one of the Beach Girl styrofoams I made. So I did show them Batman, Green Goblin, Groot, the two individual styrofoams that, when combined together, make up Two-Face. But they're also individual styrofoams by themselves. This is something that I ensured. Thanks to that sudden portal key pickup, I've got enough to open another slot. Well, at least it's not another relic. Excuse me. Excuse me, either way, the rice pudding was pretty good.